Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas, where we have a new lapel mic. Thank you so much. It came and it's working lovely, and hopefully you can hear me because I can see the little bar moving. So we are on our 15th episode of the Forbidden Lands, where our party of Taylene, Nemena and Sister Nivea have been exploring the Dwarven prison that they encounter to the south. We haven't done much of exploring of the Forbidden Lands really, it's just this spot. But it's really sort of given us a view of how we can explore ruins, and as a solo player, how it's not a fast process. If you're going to explore before you set a limit, you will then have, so we could have just, there were a couple of dead ends on that first level that we could have stopped at if you go back to the episodes. We could have stopped at that bit and gone somewhere else, but instead it seemed too empty. But now we've come down and we've found this set of stairs where we fought some orcs and we got into some trouble. We're near the end of the day of the quarter. We have basically almost an hour and a half, like just over an hour and a half, an hour and 3/4 of the day left. And then we would be moving into the evening and night. So we probably, based on the fact that Nemena has a slash on her mouth, Sister Nivea he's down to only 1 point of strength. If Sister Nivea gets hit by anything, Sister Nivea is going down and he's broken. The same with Taylene. If Taylene gets hit by anything, Taylene is going down. Their weapons have been damaged. Their armor has been damaged. They're going to have to scavenge off of these orcs to get some armor and probably sort themselves out somewhere. So we may quit out of this part early and then backtrack probably to where the camera obscura was. That may be a secure place because it only had one interest in, so we can defend it. And if it is a camera obscura, then there probably is a way for the air to get out, for the light to get in, that we could create a fire. Elsewise, there's the place which had the water where the lizard people came in. We could try and use that as a defensible position, although it probably would be cold and wet and not as pleasant as the place where the camera obscura is. But first off, we have to check on these bodies of these orcs. Now, we had 3 orcs that we were fighting. Out of those orcs, one's leather armor is fine, studded leather is fine. All of them, their helms took a pounding, but one has a helm with 1 point left on it, so that is still okay. Now Taylene lost her, Nemena's armor is down to, we might go back. Nemena's armor is down to a 1. Oh no, but this is so close. Taylene's helm got destroyed. All right, let's see. So we might be able to, so some of their suits of armor are all right. So one of them has a suit of armor, a suit of studded, which is still fine on 3. Nemena could theoretically do a crafting roll and get that fitted on. So Nemena could do a crafting roll and wear the suit of studded leather, which would give at least a 3 defense. At the moment, her chain is down to 1. We have Taylene can definitely wear one of the helms. Now, as far as I can see, both of the other 2 orcs, their armor didn't get damaged. Their helms got completely destroyed and they got killed by Nemena and her outstanding swordsmanship. But their armor is fine. So we could say to Sister Nivea to try and get Sister Nivea to wear armor. But that would also take a crafting roll. Now one of them has a bow, a short bow at +2. Taylene's bow got damaged, got broken in the fight. So Taylene can take that short bow. So Taylene is going to take the short bow from that orc, which means Taylene's short bow is back and Taylene can have a bow again. The other 2, they did have 2-handed swords. Now 2-handed swords we could sell, but chances are they're not going to be worth that much. So next we have checking to see what stuff they are carrying, which will be, well, now we could ask the Oracle, will they have, because what we said was, if there are artifacts down on that 3rd level, which we think there's an artifact, there might be treasure down on that 1st level. These orcs could have found some of that treasure and be carrying it on them. So I think it is, let's say it's unlikely, which means both of these need to turn up red for this to be a yes, that they have a precious find on them. Otherwise, we can say that they have, if it's one red, they have a valuable find. If it's no reds, then they just have normal stuff. One red, so they have a valuable find. These orcs are carrying something valuable but not precious. So there's 3 orcs, so let's give them 3 rolls on the valuable finds table because they've found stuff but nothing precious, so in the lower level. And then we'll work out, so this is all them strips. So basically this is the 3 of them. Sister Nivea has been tending to the wounds, and as she's doing that, they will be scavenging off of these bodies, and then they're going to retreat back up. They might think about securing the door, but they'll retreat back up and see if they can set camp for the night of the 9th of Spring Rise, coming into the 10th, and see what goes. Blues is 10s. So we've got 45, 45. One of them is wearing elegant boots, which will say how much they're worth now, which is 3d6 silver, which is 11 silver. So one's wearing elegant boots, 65, oh that's good, 65, a silver headband. One has a silver headband, 9d6 silver. Wow, heaps, this is worth a fortune. 35 silver pieces this is worth, so that's 3.5 gold. They can actually get this, if they go back to town now, they can get, they'll actually be able to get stuff. And enough time has passed, there might be all sorts of shenanigans going on with the beer wars. And we have 42, and one of them has got a silver ring, which is worth, wow, 14 silver. So that's quite a good haul. All right, so they will take that stuff. Are they going to drag the bodies up? All right, they'll drag the bodies up and out of that hallway and probably dump them. Because we haven't even been down to that 3rd level. So they will drag them up from the stairs. They basically were fighting midway down these stairs. They'll drag them. I wonder if they've got a lantern. Have they got a lantern? This is just a plane. Do the orcs have a lantern / oil? No, they don't. They were using torches. Oh, do they have enough? Or do they have enough food and or torches to resupply our people? Yes. Okay. So we will give them all. We'll just say that during this period of time, this night, they've scavenged enough food. Oh, is the food good to eat, or is it orky food? I.e., if it's red, it's good enough to eat. If it's black, it's orc food. It's no good for them. Oh no, it's no good for them. They're going to have to use their own supplies anyway. So we'll drag them up the stairs. So we'll do might rolls to see if it's easy or not, and see if we can dump them somewhere down here. And then we're going to retreat down to here to camp out the night, where we will make them roll for the camping as they keep watch. And then that's for the evening shift. And then the night and the morning, they will take turns watching and watch and rest. So first off, we're going to have them carry this. Oh, and that's where they can do the crafting rolls to fit armor to them. So we want them to do might rolls, which is led by Nemena, who has got 4 for her strength because she was healed. Sister Nivea did a healing roll and rolled really good. She has a 3 for her might, and we can say that because the others are helping, she can get a +1. If we get no hits, then they're just basically too knackered and they can't, and that means that the probability of there being some encounter tomorrow as we come down here is higher. We get 2 hits. 2 hits is enough that they drag the bodies up and everything up. We have enough. Oh, okay. What about arrows? Well, let's just say that Taylene doesn't have to roll to consume arrows because she can take the arrows off the corpse, and she's got the bow off the corpse, and we've got the stuff off the corpse. Let's do a simple finds carried as well. Carried simple finds, because they might have some sort of something food wise. Blues, 55, a bronze earring, so we'll just not bother about that. So we'll say that we've got the food and all that other stuff as they're coming up. So then we will, might as well, whilst we're doing it, we will have, so Sister Nivea has crafting, and Nemena also has crafting, and so Nemena has a 4 for her strength and a 1 for crafting, and Sister Nivea will assist. This is once they've got back up, so they've come up to the Camera Obscura room. We'll consume the rest of the day shift. We'll start moving into the evening shift, and during that evening shift, whilst they're trying to set camp, first off, they're going to try and get the studied armor to fit them, which means that Nemena has to take off the chainmail to put the studied leather on, which means she's has to carry the chainmail back, or between them have to carry the chainmail back. Sister Nivea won't be happy about wearing the studded leather, but based on the fact that she got knocked about, she is going to be happier wearing it than not wearing it. So this is first roll is to get it to fit Nemena. They are going to push that roll because they've got no negatives, no minuses, ones rather, and we get only a 1 on the skill. But Nemena can't get the armor to fit her. It's just neither suits of armor the straps can't be tightened enough, or she's too broad in the shoulders than these orcs were, and she just can't get the armor to fit that's adequate enough that will defend her. So she's a bit annoyed, but then they'll see if they can get it to fit Sister Nivea, whereas Sister Nivea is small enough that the armor can be made to fit Sister Nivea. So Nemena is wearing, so studded. We could see if we could get the studded leather to fit Taylene. There is enough, because, all right, so they'll then see if they can get it to fit Taylene, because it couldn't fit Nemena, and Taylene has got a leather of 2, which means she could then give that to Nemena. We have 1/6, which means yes. So Taylene is going to put studded on, giving her a 3. Nemena is going to take her chain off, which needs to be repaired, and she is going to put this leather on, giving her a 2. Which means that Nemena is almost at carrying capacity. Taylene can still carry some other stuff, so Taylene and Sister Nivea are going to take the boots, the headband, and the ring between them. Sister Nivea is wearing armor for the first time. Did Sister Nivea's staff break? I have a vague recollection that Sister Nivea's staff broke. I'm pretty sure that Sister Nivea's staff broke, in which case Sister Nivea is going to need a new staff. Yes, I'm positive that she smashed it into one of their faces, and she pushed the roll and it broke, and she did some damage to one of them. And Taylene is wearing a closed helm, which is bust up a bit. I'm not too sure if any of these things will give them minuses in doing things. Let me just quickly check that. I don't think it does. No, they're just not light to carry. It's just the leather is light, so if they were going to carry it, it would be light. And the studded and the leather cap that Taylene is wearing is light. But the as is the closed helm. Oh no, she's wearing a closed helm. Open helm. The closed helm is not light, so that's the only difference. Is they're not light to carry. They'll dump that, so they've got that sorted out. Open helm is what Nemena is wearing. There's a closed helm, but they both got broken, so they might need to do it by better ones of those. So now they need to do a camping roll. Nemena has quartermaster, which means that Nemena provides a +1 automatically. They are also helping, so they get +2, and then Taylene will do the lead on this because she has the best survival, which is a 2 for her survival, which is under wits, and she has a 4 at the moment for wits because she's a bit injured. She doesn't have anything to really help, so they might need to buy some bed rolls and stuff. She does have that wolf skin, so she's going to use that wolf skin, which gives her 1. So this is to see if they can set up a camp within that space that's safe and warm, and that they can then spend the night there using the light that comes in from the camera obscura, so they don't need to consume torches or anything, and they can get enough rest. They get 1 hit. If she pushes it, she's going to take 2 damage, but that will give her, so she can still do that, but that will give her 2 will points, which is quite good because we can start using those for other stuff, and she's going to sleep anyway, so she might as well sleep because that means that we can be more assured that they're getting a good night's rest. She, because of that push, gets 3 hits, but she does take 2 points of damage, which is 2 will points, which means her wits, she is tired, she's fatigued, it's the stress of everything, of being hit about, because this is all pretty much new to her. But we have the, she up until this point, her dark secret was that she's never actually found anything. This is the first time that she's gone into anything and actually found anything proper. So we have a good camp that's made. So we would say for the evening, and then we'd need to do a scouting roll as we keep watch and make sure that we don't have it, and then we'll roll an encounter to see if there's a general encounter. So we will have a scout roll from Nemena, which basically means that we can do one for Taylene. So Taylene, we did take damage, so that's not going to help us. Taylene now only has 2 for her wits. She has a 2 for the scouting. Everyone's helping. We need 1 hit, please. No, oh no, yes, 1 hit. Okay, so we've got 1 hit for scouting for the evening. We need to pull a general encounter to see what happens. So this is our general encounter, which is a 5 of spades. 5 of spades. 5 of spades is no encounter. So during them setting up camp, there's no encounter. First watch will go to Nemena. Taylene and Sister Nivea will attempt to sleep. So Nemena is going to keep watch. Nemena at the moment has 3 for her wits. She has 1 for her scouting. She gets no hits, but we can re-roll. She will push it, and she gets nothing on the push either. Okay, so for the night, Nemena is going to watch, 0 hits, and then we're going to have sleep for Taylene, and Sister Nivea is going to sleep. And then we need to have another general encounter pull to see what happens during the night whilst Nemena is at watch. So basically we will have, they've used the wolf skin, they've tried to build a small fire, not very big, to keep warm because they've got all those hits, they did a good job of it. The smoke is leaving via some cracks with the camera obscura, so it's going up instead of being trapped in the room. They have eaten what food? Oh, we'll do that. We'll roll for food, though they're heading back soon, but we'll do food and drink for them eating. So we'll go first one, fine, second one, fine, third one, fine. So they eat and drink, everything is fine. We won't do the torches because they use the lantern, though the lantern is going to go off for this period of time. They're in the dark. Nemena is not really keeping watch very well. I need to keep my eye on the mic. And so we will have the encounter for Nemena. We have a 10 of diamonds. I think a 10 is an encounter. General encounters, 10 of diamonds. Some game wanders into view, roll for an animal. I mean, they're down underground. I doubt anything's going to wander in there. In the camera obscura, it'll be a rat. Maybe like a rat is going to wander into views. But we'll roll page 152 on the player's handbook. I mean, honestly, it's not going to be us game masters. 152 on the player's handbook, apparently, just for the sake of it. D6. 6, a deer. There will be no deer. Okay, it does wander into view, but it comes through the camera obscura. Nemena sits and watches a deer go across the big concrete disc, which is in the middle of the floor, where the light comes in. She can see starlight, there's moonlight, and she can just see clearly a deer move past where the viewing lens obviously comes through. and she can see that move across the floor. A deer slides across the floor and she can't really do anything, but she's fascinated in watching this deer move past. There you go. So that's Taylene and Sister Nivea are healed up. We didn't roll to see how many days. We'll do that after I've erased their damage or rubbed out their damage to see how long Nemena's slashed mouth lasts for. All right, so that was the night. We're now on the next day. Because we're in the next day, we shuffle our cards together. We rebuild our deck. And then we will have Nemena will get to sleep. We also will see how long it will take Nemena's slashed mouth to heal. First we'll do that. So Nemena then says, all right, you lot keep watch. Don't let's get caught. I really need a good night's sleep. So it was a slash wound. It was a slashed mouth, not lethal, no time limit, D6 days, 2 days, so 1 day left. 1 day left, so it's already started. So it wasn't a very deep injury, but it's just cuts across the mouth, which makes her, it's difficult for her to talk. We will do actually XP because it's the morning, so we'll do this first. Did you participate in the game? We don't get that. Did you travel through at least one hex on the game map that he had not? No, but we are exploring an adventure site. Did you discover it? No, we didn't. I'm going to give them 1. They didn't discover a new adventure site. They didn't move in a new hex, but they are exploring an adventure site. Did you defeat monsters? Yes. Did you find treasure? Yes. Did you build a function in your stronghold? No. Did you activate your pride? No. Did you suffer from your dark secret? Kind of. Did you risk your life for your piece? Another PC? They all did. Did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind? Well, I think Sister Nivea's healing was. There were a couple of attacks from Nemena last session that were outstanding rolls that shocked me how many 60s she rolled. So I'm giving them 6 for that. So I'm going to say they all collectively get 6 XP. So they've all got quite a bit of XP. They will be very much debating returning. So Taylene and Sister Nivea are going to quietly have conversations and chat about stuff and to share ideas and thoughts, particularly because they both know lore, so they'll tell each other stories. They both know healing. They'll talk about healing, whilst Nemena is going to try sleeping and telling them to keep their mouths down and can they please shut up. Which means we need a scout roll. Taylene is back up to her full strength, so she has 4 for her wits. She has a scouting of 2. Sister Nivea has no scout skill, so she can't really help. We get 1 hit. Okay, so we get 1 hit that's going on. So Taylene is aware. So this is the morning, technically the morning of the 10th. We got 1 hit for scout, and then we will pull and we will see what our general encounter is. We have an 8 of hearts. 8 of hearts. Thick fog rises from the ground, but only comes up to knee height. So whilst they are camping and in this area, they can see outside the fog, and the fog starts to come down because there's lots of gaps. Maybe it starts rolling in from where the water was in the other area. The fog, because the water's got cold, the heat of the room, the fog is going to roll off, and they see there's this sort of low-laying mist starts to form within the dungeon complex, which is quite interesting to them. The morning passes and Nemena gets her damage returned to her. We also have Sister Nivea's magic pool is going to clear out, so she can cast a spell basically. She will check out on, so in the day, so we're now on the day shift, she will give Nemena's wound a check. We'll give her a healing roll, and then she will decide whether there's any point doing, I feel like I should have more green dice, and she'll decide whether there's any point doing a spell to heal it. We've got at least 1 hit, which is fine. She's going to say, look, darling, I don't think there's any point me doing anything special with my herbs and my powers. This looks like it's got about a day's left healing. If you're all right me leaving it, I'll just clean up the wound a bit, make it feel a bit nicer, and we'll leave it at that. And the Mena's like, oh, that's fine. It's just an extra scar to add to the rest of my body. It's one more story to tell, because she's covered in scars, because she's a warrior by trade. So she would be covered in scars and injuries. All right, so now they have to try and think about what they are going to do next. What will they do next? They can continue exploring. They are all right, though they're not got much carrying capacity yet. They're going to have to give stuff to Sister Nivea next. They're pretty much at capacity. Their carrying capacity is twice their strength, which means that both Sister Nivea and Taylene... Oh, Sister Nivea can only carry 4... Sister Nivea is pretty much at capacity. They are all pretty much at capacity. There's not much else they can carry out because the stuff's big. But if they come back, they know they can come back. They can try and come out, but if they come back, then there's a chance that as they're coming through, they're going to encounter more stuff. At least now they know it's reasonably clear. They can try and stash stuff here. I mean, they can try and take some of the... Maybe they'll try and take some of this stuff and they'll try hiding it up in that armory that had collapsed. Because they've got like loads of gold and stuff. They don't necessarily have to carry that. There's like, they've got a golden cradle worth 10 gold pieces, silver statues, they've got scepters. She could leave her chainmail up there so she doesn't have to carry that. They've got this bunch of keys. Maybe they could try some of these doors, but that would be further down. I mean, a lot of this stuff they could just store up, like hide up here, and then not need to carry it around. But then they're still going to have to try and carry it back to the hollows. All right, they'll just go down. Oh, will they go down or go back? All right, I think they've been down here 2 days. So they've been in here 2 days. They've got a nice haul of things. I think they will return back. That makes sense to me. They'll return back. They can get better equipment and then they can try coming back again. They know there's stuff downstairs and they know it's unlocked. What they might do is to try and protect their haul is they might close the grill as they leave. They might do a roll to close that, make that thing come down and close it off. So nothing wanders in here and nobody else comes. And then they're going to try and go back, sell their stuff, get better stuff, and then come back again. Because they might be able to get a lantern, so for proper lighting, they can get some better armor and better weapons. And then come back again, because the Sister Nivea doesn't have a staff anymore. So there'll be a gap there. That's a prime example. There's me debating what they would do. They've got enough treasure that it was worth doing this. They've got like at least what have they got? Just briefly, they've got 10, they've got 25, 26, 31. So what's that? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. They've got nearly 100 gold. I reckon that if we work this out, they've got nearly 100 gold worth of finds that they need to sell. And then they can try getting stuff and coming back. But they're now starting to make proper money down this clearing out this part of the dungeon. But it's the risk versus reward. They're damaged. Taylene has a bow, but Nemena's longsword is damaged, Nemena's shortsword is damaged, Nemena's lost her chainmail. She knows she needs to get a bigger, better shield and a better helm. She is taking too much damage from people, and they've now got the experience to need training. Taylene could go back and learn the feat talent to allow her to notch and fire a bow with aiming. So that would mean that she could aim with every shot instead of doing that. She could also try and get a long bow to try and do a bit more damage and do a bit of investigation that way. So I think what they're going to do is on the 10th of Springrise, they're all going to sit around and they're going to... This is what I think. All right, we can try doing a card. I think it's more than likely, I'm going to pull 2 cards. I think it's more than likely that they're going to leave. So if one of these is a red, they're leaving. Okay, they're not leaving. All right. So they're all starting to discuss it. Taylene will put forward the idea. They're going to die now. Taylene's going to put forward the idea that they should leave. And Nemena's going to say, look, we're on a roll. we're okay. As soon as my last sword breaks, we'll go. But I've pulled the short sword out of that orc's face because it's on one bonus as well. You've replaced your bow. I know the sister doesn't have her staff, but sister, can you use anything else? She goes, I've got a knife, darling. I'm not very good with it, and I need to be close up, but I've got a knife. I mean, they can't really make, they need, I mean, a fighting staff has got weighted tips and is actually made. You can't just grab a bit of wood. It needs to be, you know, what's it called? Strengthening there's a word for strengthening wood, but that needs to happen. And they've not done that. So, I mean, even with this, the sister could actually use her skill points to improve her talents as well. But we did 2 cards. All right, says Tailing, I don't think this is a very good idea, but all right. So they will, I'll do a new time clock. Okay, so they will come out of the camera obscura. They will reignite the lantern, which means they have light for this whole day. They all can have light, they don't have to consume torches. We did their roll for food. Luckily we didn't have to do that because they're not going back. They will come out of the camera obscura location. They will head down and around, and we'll say that will consume. They'll move slowly and taking their time so they don't get, so we'll give them a scout roll for moving stealthily, and we'll say that will consume, I don't know, I'd say 15 minutes, that'll be half an hour, and they'll get to the bottom of these stairs. So we'll say it consumes half an hour. They need to have a roll to see if they get an encounter. Nope, because this is a 2. And so that's every hour. At the beginning of the hour, if we roll a 1, they have an encounter beyond the encounters from the stuff they roll. They'll come down to the bottom of the stairs, and I can't remember, we didn't say what was at the bottom of the stairs. I don't think we said what was going to be at the bottom of these stairs. So we know there's a door at the bottom of the stairs. So the question we want to ask ourselves is the door locked? Where's our table? Over here. Doors locked is a D6. It's a 5. The door is locked. So that is a locked door at the bottom here. This may make our decision for us. Okay, if that was locked, that makes no sense because the orcs came through it. So unless the orcs locked it, it's not locked, is it? So let's say it was locked and it's broken. So the door is a broken door that they obviously broke their way through and they've smashed their way through. So although it says it's locked, it's not locked. It makes no sense. We can have locked doors beyond this, but not that door because they came up those stairs. How did they come up those stairs if it was locked? So the next bit we want to know is what is behind that, which is a D6. It's a 2, which is a corridor. So we have a corridor. So we come down to the bottom and we can see this corridor leading down. And then we will roll to see the contents of this corridor. Room contents, which is 2d6, which is an 8, and an 8 is a none. So there's nothing in this corridor, and then we'll see how many doors there are. There is 3, and 3 on here says no exit. No exit also makes no sense because where did the orcs come from? So we will roll again. And we get a 9, and a 9 is 2 doors. So there are 2 doors. We'll put one door on the side here because I fancy it, and another door at the end over here, and that's it in this corridor. So we've come into the corridor. We can see maybe the orcs camped in this corridor bit down here. Now one of these 2 doors must be either open or something else. So door the first is a 4, which is locked. Now if the other one is locked, we'll randomly see which one. Door the second is a 4, which is locked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. This one is not locked. It is, let's see, is it wide open? No. Okay, so it's not locked, but it's closed. So we don't know what's behind that door. This door here is locked. So we'll come down, we've checked this one, we've checked this one. We will consume a 10 minutes of us coming down. So we did half an hour to get down there. We've looked at the corridor, we've checked it out. We're moving stealthily. And so at all points we're moving stealthily, at all points we're checking for traps. So if there is a trap, then we can do a scout roll to see if we spot it. There's no point saying we're going to roll each time because we don't have a DM there needing to look at our rolls and just try and make us feel paranoid. So this one at the end is, there's a door there, it's unlocked, we can see the lock has been broken and forced, but the other lock is locked. Now we want to know what is behind that door, so we roll a d6 and we have a 5 over here. We have a hallway, roll twice on the room contents table. All right, so this, we open the door and there is a larger hallway down here. So corridor is quite thin, a hallway is quite wide, and we will roll twice on the contents table. Room contents, we have 11, which is inhabitants, and we have 4, 5, 6, 7, which is nothing. So inhabitants, we will pull up. Chances are it could be more orcs, but it could be that the orcs had a camp there. So we pull a card for inhabitants. We have a king of clubs. King of clubs says a bear. I don't see how a bear makes sense for down here. Is there anything that makes sense down here? Yeah, well, we've got goblins and orcs if we came into this room, but the orcs were downstairs. So unless there's other orcs in here, but the orcs down here would have heard the fight, so that makes no sense. So we'll do one other pull. Otherwise, we're just going to say it's a camp. 7 Vainers. It's probably not Vainers. Page 70. What is one of these things then? It looks like that. All right. Okay, so what it says here is about a Viner is that they are small skittish humanoids who are hunted by both orcs and humans, since they are said to have sweet meat. It said that their living flesh has a healing and a fattening ability, so infected or deep wounds covered by parts of a Viner heal quicker. Orcs appreciate the taste of the meat, which is considered to be a positive for both health and potency. All right, we will say that there is a Viner who is looking quite scared in a cage, and this place here, this hallway here, was the orc camp. So that was where the orcs had camped up and had been investigating the area. And there is a Viner in a cage, and we are going to say how many doors are coming off this area. We've got a 6. A 6 says 1 door, which we could put at the end. I don't like that. Let's see if we get anything more. 12 is 4 doors. All right, let's go 1 door at the end. Oh, that and the door that came in through, isn't it? So they will say 4 doors. So we're going to put, oh look, I've just done a double door. So there's a set of double doors here. There's a door that we came in through. There's a door here and there's a door here. Let's see how we are in the old locks. So the double door is wide open. So we'll roll what's behind that afterwards. The one to the left is 2, which is unlocked. The one to the south is unlocked. That makes sense. All right, so we've got an orc camp which have decided to camp up here. They've come in through this thing here, so whatever's this, we want this thing here, which is wide open, to be something that they wouldn't want to camp inside. They've got a Viner, he's sitting in a cage looking terrified over there. Now we then have to decide what we're going to do with it, because it is worth cash. And we will first off roll this, and then we might leave that moral conundrum for next session. Because it really will be a moral conundrum. So what is behind the double doors? I'm tempted to just say it's a room automatically. 2 would be a corridor. It's double doors. We're going to say instead it is a room. There is a room behind those double doors. So then we want to say what is in the room. Room contents. 9, that's inhabitants again. I mean, that makes no sense being an open doorway. So let's roll again. Otherwise we're going to say it's, so what's that? That's 8. 8 is nothing, so there's nothing in that room. Let's give that room some exits. We've got 7, there's 1 door. 1 door on, oh, 1 exit. No, let's not say it's a door. Let's do a roll for this. A 4 says it's locked. There is, I'm gonna say there is a pipe. There's a pipe with a metal grill in front. So inside this room, so let's roll some verbs for this room. Or we'll go 1, 2, 3. So we've got the room with the grill has got a 4 of spades, which is grief. It's got an ace of clubs, which is desire. And we've got a 4 of diamonds, which is protection. Grief, desire, protection. This feels like a larger grief, desire, protection. Oh, that was a bit nasty. It could be there's lots of tools in this room that would be used to extract information from something, which is where grief and desire comes from, and protection is because the people who are doing it felt that they were protecting the dwarfs by extracting information from prisoners. And the orcs would find that quite interesting. So the orcs would not have come through there because there is an exit through that grill. Maybe the pipe or the metal pipe, instead of being a grill, maybe it's a prison cell. Maybe we'll say that that is a cell instead. So behind that, we can see that there is a cell there. That makes more sense than a metal grill. So we'll be fluid about what we were thinking. And instead of saying that there's a metal pipe there, instead there's a cell attached to this room. And the room, let's make Taylene and mainly Sister Nivea. Let's make Sister Nivea make an empathy roll, or she's got part of sight, so that would be equivalent to the same thing. Let's see if she gets a bad feeling about this room. No, she doesn't, and she's not going to push it either. Let's give Taylene, who's also got an empathy of 3. No, neither of them. They're just very curious about what's going on. So we've got a Viner in the corner of the room. We will knock off a 2 10-minute timestamps, which is another one. Is there an encounter? Nope. So we're into the 2nd hour. We have explored the room. Let's give them a scouting roll in the interrogation room. And if they pass, then we'll say that they do find something, and we'll work that out next session as well. So we have 5 for wits, 2 for scouting, and Nemena will help because Nemena has scouting trained. We have nothing. So they spend some time hunting around in that room and they find nothing of value within the room. So there's not even any tools that are in a good condition. Everything is pretty much falling apart in that room, and what they're left with is down here is a locked door further down, where they could try their keys on that locked door because Taylene does have a bunch of keys. They have 2 unlocked rooms that they need to go through, and they have this Viner in a cage which is starting to make whimpering noises and looking really quite pathetic, and they need to decide what they're going to do with that. And with that, we will leave our adventurers and we will return to them next session to try and find out what is down here and see if we can get an artifact. In one of these 2 rooms, we can justify there being an artifact to take with us, which we'll pull out from Raven's Purge, and we will kickstart Raven's Purge by finding one of the artifacts. I'm not too sure what it will be, but whatever it will be, we'll try and make it fit into this air. If you can think of what the artifact might be, stick it down in the comments, and we will have a think about what that artifact will be. We will definitely find here. It will kickstart Raven's Purge, that we will then draw into, probably based on the fact that this is episode 15, into season 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much for returning as your subscription and watching. If you're not yet a subscriber, do consider subscribing. I mean, you've just watched about 40 minutes of me, so you should have decided whether you want to watch more of this or not. Say eternal thanks to the Adventurers Guild for all of your support. Not much happened there, but we did push things forward and explore that 3rd floor, and we didn't return back. Next week we will continue and hopefully finish off the Dwarven prison and then return to the Hollows. I hope to see you then. See ya.